All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we are back with another video. And so, like I made mention in another video that I'm going to be remaking some of my earlier videos that were made on my phone and before I had my camera set up and whatnot, and that have very little views. And yeah, so we're going to be redoing those videos. But the video that we're redoing today is actually a very, very commonly asked question. And I guess, it's such a broad spectrum as well of so I'll just go straight into it so you understand what I'm talking about. So, is it ever okay to snitch on someone? So, yeah, before I get started, if you guys are loving my channel and yeah, you want to see more and you want to show me your support, jump up there, shoot me a subscription, smash that bell button, and then that way you'll never miss any of my clips. And so, yeah, let's get into it. So, is it ever okay to snitch? So, I guess straight off the bat, you know, um, I guess people, because of music and TV and stuff like that, think that they're a part of this criminal world, and they're absolutely not. And so, I think that you know just going to move that there. So yeah, I think it's important to get across that people think they're a part of this criminal world and they're not, just because of music and movies and stuff like that, or just think that they're a criminal and they're not. And or people just, so yeah, if you're not a criminal or whatever, like, I'm not saying that this is something that you should do, but if you are not a criminal, then snitching shouldn't be something that should worry you doing or whatnot. Um, but I guess there's always particulars that you've got to worry about when talking about snitching. So like, yeah, is it ever okay to snitch if you are a criminal? Like, no, never, ever. It's never okay to snitch. Now, like I said, it's such a broad spectrum of a question. So there's so many different ways you could put it. So, like, I guess, there's a lot of people that believe that, it's okay to snitch on, say, sex offenders and stuff like that. And, but then there's also people that also believe that doing that snitching is snitching, and 100%, do not agree with it. And then there's also like people that, like, say for instance, have been assaulted by police and are gonna go charge the police, and and so therefore would 100% have to make a statement against the police to pursue with charges, and therefore that would be snitching. Now, I've seen this happen, and I've seen people get pulled up on this, and so, like, where people say have been assaulted by the screws or assaulted by the cops, and have chosen to pursue charges, and people have found out about this in jail and have 100% pressed these people on it, because they see it as snitching is snitching. It doesn't matter who you're snitching on or whatever. Snitching is snitching. And like, so I've even seen people, being exiled from their gang for talking on tape, and they didn't even snitch. They didn't even snitch. They didn't snitch anyone, but they didn't give a no comment interview. And so, like, even stuff like that, and this is what people don't understand. Just because that person didn't give a no comment interview and decided to talk on tape, was 100%, like, stamped out by his gang, and then kicked out of his gang for talking on tape and not giving a no comment interview. And so, like, that this is why I said it is such a broad spectrum of ways of snitching. And so, like, even in prison and stuff like that too. So, like, I see a lot of people come unstuck in prison for like snitching or left hand dropping, we call it. And so, like, say for instance, if someone's had something stolen off them, and I've mentioned this in my rules and stuff like that, and then they go up to the screws and say, hey, can you please check the cameras, my cell's been robbed, can you check on the cameras and see who's gone in my cell and done that? Now, this is a tough one because, like, it's seen as, it's looked down upon as if you steal from people in prison. But then again, it's looked down upon more if you go walk up to the screws and you ask the screws for help to look for your stuff, instead of going and asking maybe someone that's in power or whatever. And, I see a lot of people come unstuck that way for just getting a little bit, buddy buddy with the screws. And, I've made mention in this in other videos as well, that, like, if you are seen talking to the screws for any more time than you are absolutely deemed necessary to talk to them, then some people will 100% think that you are snitching. And and this is why you should not do drugs and crime and end up in prison. Now, I understand it. I know that there's a lot of people that watch my channel that are still in that life and that. And look, my heart goes out to you guys, because I know that that a lot of people are stuck in that life, or whatever. And but yeah, like 100%, like, these the reasons why you don't want to go to jail, because, like, just talking to a screw can be seen as snitching. And 100%, once you have that snitch stamp on your forehead, you are never going to get it removed, or it's very, very hard to get it removed. So people are always just going to think that you are a snitch. Once you are thought you are a snitch, from that point on, it's going to be very hard for you to get your name back. And these are the reasons why you don't want to go to prison, because all it takes is you to have one bad day and turn on a screw, and say you're going to punch a screw's head in or something like that. And then next thing you know, that screw's coming to work the next day telling people that you're snitching to get back at you, knowing damn well that, like, that's a trump card move, and, like, that is getting back at you. But, like, these are things that can happen. And this is why I tell you people that it's absolutely, you don't want to be going to prison. And this is why you don't want to, because, like I said, just seeing talking to the screws, and you can be labeled a snitch. And then once you're labeled a snitch, that's going to follow you around every single jail, and you're just going to have 100% dramas. So, but I guess back to the question: is it ever okay to snitch? There is some people that believe that, yeah, it is okay to snitch on the police, or it is okay to snitch on sex offenders. um I think that, like, I believe that snitching on sex offenders is, this is a tough one, even tough for me to say, but I believe that, like, all sex offenders are monsters and need to be behind bars, where the real justice is going to be dealt to them. But, like, other than that, like, even snitching on the police and stuff like that, like, I even draw the line there and probably think that, that's still snitching. And, I probably wouldn't do that myself. Um, but yeah, also, for these people that, don't even have their finger in the door of the criminal world and whatnot, and think, oh, I better not snitch because, like, rah rah rah. I guess at the end of the day, it's a choice that only you can make. And but, like, you better believe that snitching on the wrong person will have absolute dire consequences that can 100% be life threatening. If your snitching involves sending somebody to prison, 100%, there's, you can almost guarantee there's going to be some kind of get back for that, or retribution for that kind of snitching. And yeah, so if you guys can hear my dog snoring in the background over there, so I try and tell him not to, but yeah, he's his own boy, and that's who is snoring in the background. If you can hear that snoring, but yeah, there you go. So I guess yeah, it's really never okay to snitch. You know, if you are a criminal, and you know, you better believe that, you know, if you do decide to snitch on somebody, that you know, almost 99.9% of the time there's going to be some kind of consequence for it, especially because if you are snitching on a criminal, then most criminals look very, very, very much look down upon that, and will try and get some kind of retribution for you snitching on them. um so tread carefully. I'm not saying, sometimes, like, I know it's very, very hard. There's a lot of this stuff going on, where people are now, these young teenagers are kicking people's doors in, and breaking into people's houses while they're awake, and stealing their keys, and just ransacking the houses, and robbing houses while these people are home with their families and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I guess, I understand why people talk to the police in times like that. If that was me, 100%, if teenagers booted my door off in the middle of the night and thought that they were going to get out of here alive, even, that's, they've got to be tripping. And so, like, I wouldn't call the police, but, like, 100%, I can see why people have to call the police in those situations. And those situations are very, very scary. And, like, would I call the police? No, I wouldn't. I would just take action myself in that scenario, and 100% fight to the death to protect my family, and make sure that, that my family don't have to live through the ordeal of a bunch of teenage knuckleheads trying to come through my house and rob me. At the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be having to live through the nightmare of the ordeal, not my children. But yeah, I guess that's the end of the video there, guys. But yeah, I guess if you're a criminal, it's never okay to snitch. If you're not a criminal, well, the ball's in your court, I guess. But yeah, if you're a criminal, it's even if you go in there saying a no comment, if you go in there and don't say a no comment interview, a lot of crooks see that as, left hand dropping or dry snitching, even. And, like I said, also talking to the screws and stuff like that for too long, you can get labeled a snitch. So, these are the reasons 100% why jail is shit and crime is shit, because, like, it's so easy for someone to label you a snitch, and, it's very, very hard to get that stamp off. So, for that reason, don't do drugs and crime. You won't end up in prison, and you won't have to prove that you're not a snitch. But anyway, I've been the Chaos Chronicles. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Don't forget to jump up there and shoot me a subscription. And if you hit that bell, that little bell icon means that you'll get a notification on your phone or your device, wherever you watch my page. It'll send you a notification so you never miss any of my clips. But anyway, I've been the Chaos Chronicles. We out.